Hello, my name is Omar Abasad. It's 3:03 p.m. March 10, 2020. So I'm going to demonstrate the signals on my face. So you see my eyes, how droopy they are? My eyes, this eye especially, is tagged. See how puffy the face is? All day, it's been tagged like this all day. And my ear is hurting. Both ears tagged. Underneath the throat, jaw, the neck, which is also swollen, swole glands. So here are the signals of my hand. Notice the RF reading is high, considering that normal is 1 to 0. Notice the RF reading around the ear. My ear is hurting. So my ear is being pulsed at an increased level, microwave level. So the temperature of my ear is 36.5. $36.5. $36.5. So the other one. $36.5. $35.9. $35.9. $35.9. $35.9. So 36.5 to 35.9. 36.5. 36.4. 36.3. 36.2. 36.2. And 36.2 is normal. 36.7. 36.7. The other side. 37.2. So we saw that the right side of the ear was hotter than the left side. It was 35.7 and then 36.5. Then the right side went down, 37.2. So we're seeing the same pattern. The right side is hotter than the left. 37.2. 37.2. 37.2. So the other side, 36.6. 36.6. 37.1. So the left side is starting to get hot. That's because my back is being pulsed. 36.9. I just got a pulse on the chin. 36.3. 36.2. There's your pulse right there. So as soon as I got pulsed, it went up to 36.3. Then immediately dropped down to 36.2. 36.2. 36.2. The 36.3 was the pulse. 36.2. And 36.2 is normal. So that's a 1 degree difference. So it was 37.2 a minute or so ago, 36.1. So these signals create heat. And the RF reading, which is this number here, creates heat faster. When that number is high, and I've seen it up to 900 plus, and when that happens, I start burping and I start passing wind. I get really, really, really gassy, and it's continuous. That's because the entire body is being heated up. Anything over 500 RF reading, and you're literally being cooked. And in the process of your body being cooked, which causes inflammation, organ failure, blindness, gases are formed in your system. So you start passing wind continuously, and this happened to me last night. I thought I ate something that I could not digest properly, but that was not it. The thing that I realized that was causing the gassiness, and I mean, this is, you can fill a car tire, you know, and have it inflated enough to run a car. Yeah, this is the amount of gas that was being created in my system. And when I took the readings, the RF readings were quite high, continuously, not on and off, not on an on and off system. It was continuously high. So I was literally being cooked. So there was a comment that was made outside the window along the lines that she's going to be dead in a few weeks or in a few days. Well, if I didn't shield, yes, absolutely, I would be dead. Absolutely, I would be dead. But, you know, having said that, if I didn't do anything, if I went along with the agenda, and if I wasn't talking about what was going on, I'd be dead anyways. People who are not shielding, given 5G, is going to get sick. I think that I'm operating a little bit beyond the times right now. It's going to take a little bit of time for people to realize that 5G is actually making them sick faster than the 4G, and I think the 3G, and I'm not sure if there was a 2G system, 2.4. We were getting sick back then. But the 5G signals, which are millimeter wave signals, close to our bodies in a concentrated form, is going to make us sicker faster. I'm a target, so I'm being bombarded with these signals, which is forcing me to, first of all, figure out what the problem is, and second, to figure out how to shield myself against it. People who are accepting the 5G without question is going to find this out later. But by that time, they would have had cancers and heart attacks and strokes and aneurysms and so on after prolonged use. It's going to be too late for them. And at some point, I think we're going to start realizing that we need to shield, and we need to start manufacturing materials that we make our clothing from, with technology and shielding materials that's included in the manufacture of the clothing that we wear. Protect our eyes, and protect our brain. Eventually we're going to get there. I'm just a little bit ahead of that because I'm being forced to shield myself because I'm a target, I'm a guinea pig, I'm to be played with, and my life has no value. Well, with 5G, considering nobody discussed it with the population before it was rolled out, I think that somebody is not taking our lives into consideration. It is my humble opinion that the rolling out of 5G shows that the people who are involved in doing this without consulting the public, because could you imagine poisoning the water and not telling us about it? Well, it's absolutely the same thing. Our environment is being poisoned by a concentrated form of radiation that is not naturally in our environment that our bodies would normally be dealing with. The signals are introducing something foreign that our bodies have not evolved to deal with. It will kill us, but that was not discussed with us before it was rolled out. So the people who are making these decisions did not take our lives into consideration before that decision was made. So our lives have no value. Just like a target's life have no value to the community whose main agenda, or the people who are taking part in it. Not everybody in the community does, but the people in the community who's taking part in it, to these people, the target's life has no value. Well, to the people who are making decisions such as poisoning our earth and poisoning the space in which we live with radiation that causes pain, causes inflammation, causes blood clots, causes things like diabetes, heart attacks, and not disclosing it and not discussing it before it's rolled out, because we are the ones who have to live in it. They have no respect for our lives. Our lives have no value. Because let's face it, if somebody made a decision to do this, and let's say, for instance, the communities and the global community was consulted and we agreed to it, then we would take action to protect ourselves. There would be an agreement that says, well, we're going to do this, but here are the effects, and we're going to protect ourselves from the effects because we want the convenience of allowing our fridges to talk to us, and the butter and the cheese that's in the fridge to tell us that the expiration date is passed and the milk has gone bad. We want the bag, the label, the stamp on the bag, the code on the bag to tell our cell phones that here's the expiry date, it's going to go bad on such and such date, because we agreed to this. Of course, I personally don't give a rat's blankety blank, but this is information overload in my opinion. I don't need to know. I don't need to get push notifications on my cell phone or on a chip in my arm that says, gee, Oma, the cheese is going to go bad tomorrow. You better go and throw it out, or you better get a new package. I don't need that. This is irrelevant. My point is, we as a human race, we did not develop consciously or unconsciously to deal with this sort of bombardment of constant information. If you're a robot, then that's a different story. And that's where we're headed. We're headed to becoming roboticized, transhumanism. This is where we're headed. And why would anybody want to robotize our beautiful bodies? We were born with the ability to send a rocket to the moon with our brain and not being without becoming a robot. With our natural brains, we were able to send a rocket to the moon. And if we could do that, we could do anything. We don't need a chip in our brain to be able to do that. So why would somebody want to put a chip in the brain? Why would somebody say universities is for fun? We don't need to go to universities anymore. I read in one of my tweets. I think it was Elon Musk. I think he said something along the lines that university is for fun. Well, coming from his background, university would be fun, only for fun, if there's a chip in your brain and you downloaded the information and you don't have to study. If you don't have to study, then university is fun. At least that's my interpretation of what he said. So it's all gearing up for a chip in the brain. And we'll be begging for it because we're going to want fun, because that's what life is all about, just fun. And this is the whole idea of the targeting program. It's to degrade, dehumanize, regress, get the person to act in a childish way, to be a perpetual child. Everything is going to be taken care for. You're going to be taken care of, and everything is going to be taken care of for you. Somebody else is going to be making a decision. A robot will be making a decision. A computer will be making a decision. Another roboticized human being is going to be making a decision. You can just go ahead and play. But this is meant not only for targets, this is meant for everybody. The computer is going to make the decision for you because the fridge is going to tell you what day to go to the grocery store and get a block of cheese, or order it from Amazon. And a robot from Amazon is going to pick it, and another robot is going to drop it off in a drone pad outside your building. And you can send a little robot to go get it for you. The Jetsons. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there are parts of the Jetsons scenario that I find appealing and could be very convenient. I sure as heck would like a robot to pick up my laundry and go get it done, as it should be. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is I don't need a chip inside of my body so somebody else can regulate it. There is a place and a use for the technology. I think we're not managing it properly on a global scale. I suspect that there are rogue elements in places and organizations and agencies, and it doesn't necessarily have to be government. There are a lot of private corporations that have huge amounts of money invested in this type of technology. So I'm not talking about against any government. There's a group of people who are intent on getting control of every human being on the face of the earth with a chip, I suspect. And it's time to speak up. If you want to go along with the agenda, then at least go along with it with your eyes open. We have a right to know what is going on and to our voices to be included in the decision-making process. We're not infantile, we're not servile, we are not children to be used, abused, and disposed of at somebody else's will. This is global enslavement. This is what slavery is all about. This is what slavery is based on. So this is the time to speak up. For the people who don't agree with what's going on, open your eyes to what's going on and open your mouths as well. Because if you don't open your mouth now, it's going to be permanently shut. I guarantee you. it's going to be permanently shut. If you think that, oh my gosh, if I open my mouth now and I talk and there is this huge agenda going on, and there is a dark inner state in the military, and there is an inner state in this elite group, and there is the Illuminati, and there is whatever is going on, and oh my God, if I open my mouth and I talk, something is going to happen to me. Well, open your eyes. Something is happening to you. It's going to happen to you whether you like it or not. So notice I did not speak about any governments. I'm talking about criminals in all the right places getting together to pursue an agenda that is anti-human, definitely anti-human rights, but it's not only anti-human rights, it's anti-human. It's about turning human beings into machines. It's about taking the humanity out of our psyche and turning us into robots so we can deal with other robots. So pulling from my background and my what I think came to me in my genes, I'm going to predict that that's not going to happen. There's a lot of people who's going to be disposed of, unfortunately, who's going along with the agenda, and it's going to find at the end of it when it's all disclosed. At the end, it's by the time it'll be too late. They are going to be disposed of, but this agenda cannot. It cannot survive. It cannot go on. There's going to be a phase. It's going to come to a head, and then it's going to collapse, because humanity is not in a chip, and it never will be. We're human beings that is capable of becoming so much more powerful than a robot if we pursue it properly. And yes, there is a spiritual aspect to it. That relying on a chip or relying on a computer is just any system that's based on a computer or a computerized organization of the world, a mechanically organized world, I should say, using roboticized technology, or robot technology that roboticizes human beings and our psyche, and taking away the emotions, is not going to survive. And anyway, we as human beings are creating the computer. We started off whole, emotions, intellect, creators. We are the superior ones. So at no point that control is going to last for any length of time. If anybody is going to tell you that a computerized or a computer-run world is going to survive for any length of time, don't believe it. Because the humanity in humans cannot be eliminated. And we're the ones who are creating the robots. So it's not going to last. It's just, it's a bamboozle. It's a bamboozle. The control factor in this whole thing is to make us believe that we can be controlled. If you don't believe that it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. It's a bamboozle. It's what the Chinese warlords are doing to me. They're bamboozling me into thinking that I'm a child, I'm servile, I am stupid, I'm retarded. Somebody in the loading dock is going to make a decision for me. He's looking after me. He has been looking after me. And, and all that is a cover for trafficking. It's a bamboozle. So it's the same idea that's going on a global basis. The computer is a great thing. We're going to put a chip on you, and you're going to be so much more powerful with a chip in your brain, when it's a cover for controlling and enslaving you. It's a bamboozle. It's not going to work for any length of time. At some point, it's going to reach ahead and it's going to collapse. Don't get caught in it. Don't be bamboozled. So I just gave you a little bit of evidence of being radiated and the heat that's generated as a result. And a result of the heat, inflammation, organ failure, inflamed everything. And like my face, swollen. Or this whole thing here is swollen. The nostrils and the sinuses are a little bit better. Burning eyes, bags around the eyes. All these things are side effects of the heating effect of microwave technology. So it's going on half an hour. And when I started this, I didn't have a clue what I was going to talk about, other than demonstrating samples of these signals. But there is always something to talk about. I'm finding out. It's funny how these thoughts occur to you as you go along. So we will talk to you another time. It's going on half an hour. Talk to you another time.